My next tutorial will show you how to add bases to the models that were just processed through the digital scanner and imported into Maestro Ortho Studio. To accomplish that, I'm going to search for a particular case, and this case happens to be Johnny Depp's case. So by just punching in J and hitting the Enter key, we searched out Johnny Depp's case. I'm going to click on it. There are some other cases that I hear from the previous experiments, but here the Johnny Depp's case, the patient 4. Johnny Depp is patient 4, so that's our case. I'm going to click on that, and here are Johnny Depp's models. We're going to say next and import them. I adjusted the relationship between models a little bit prior to doing this tutorial. Study models typically are done in occlusal contact. I closed the open relationship that we had prior to this. In one of the future tutorials, I'll show you how this can be done. But here we are nonetheless. The models are brought into the software, and our next step is to add bases to those models. Once again, the wizard is taken over, and our job is to define on the models a line that will separate the parts that we want to keep from the parts that we want to get rid of. This is accomplished by holding the Shift key down, and one can just move the pointer, dropping the dots along the way. If this is inconvenient or uncomfortable for one reason or another, you can just hold the Shift key down and place those dots with a single click of the left mouse, turning the models around for convenient viewing. The objective is to try to capture as much of the true anatomy as we can. If we find that a particular dot is not in the right place, it can be highlighted and moved to a better position. If a particular marker seems to be unwanted, you can just click on it and get rid of it. Or you can click on the line again and add a dot to be manipulated so that you can capture the true anatomy that you want to keep. This spline is established on the upper model, and we will do the same thing on the lower. You can double check, make corrections, and once this separation between the keep stuff and get rid of stuff is made, we click next to accept. And here the software offers us its first stab at what a study model should look like. We have the true anatomy that we picked out, and the software suggests the study model basis for us to consider. There are a number of different study model trims that one can choose from: parallel, ABO, tweed, and rickets. Let me choose rickets for this operation. The height of the non-anatomical portion of the study model basis can be adjusted by toggling this up and down arrows, and you can make the model disproportionately tall or unreasonably short. So we can adjust it into some kind of a semblance of proportionality. This takes care of the overall model height. There is another adjustment that we can make by highlighting the arrows and pulling the edge of the model down without changing the overall height of the model. You can make it pretty closed like this or quite open. and I will demonstrate the outcome of both of those choices. Now, right now, there is a box that is checked off here for symmetrical changes. So everything that I do on the upper affects the lower. If I were to uncheck that box, now the changes on the upper are specific to the upper, and the changes on the lower are specific to the lower, so that I can manipulate the anatomical versus non-anatomical portion of each model respectively. If I like what I see, all I have to do is click Next, and the computer will make up the space between my selection and the base of the model. We can take a look at the models from every view. We can turn off one model and look at it, or turn that off and turn on the other and look at it. So here are my models. Let me go back and redo some of the things for you to appreciate better the changes that we can make. We are back to the spline line. I will accept that. We need upper and a lower together. Now, and what I will experiment with now is making the adjustment a symmetrical adjustment to upper and lower, and make the bases really skinny, and having the computer make up the difference between this line here and the spline. Let's see what it'll look like. You could see the angle that was created that is not particularly attractive in a study model. So let me jump back and make the adjustment and make it over closed like this, and see what that looks like. And again, this is not a particularly good look for the study model. It looks like the helmet is just a little bit too far down on the face. So let me back it up and open the models and make them a little bit more reasonable as far as the vertical is concerned, and try that on for size. And here we have a more reasonably looking study model. And we're going to accept that. And our study model is complete with the patient's label as well. Best Ortho, Doc, Johnny Depp, and so on and so on. And that is the study model, digital study model fabrication. Thanks for watching.